everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Raven's Voice. This is our Friday, January 24th podcast, and it'll probably be different times by the time you all listen to this. But this is Zealous here, co-hosting, as always, with Tearsin.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Whatever he's eating, or I don't even know.
Wait, hold on. All right.
There you go.
Sorry about that. I still had my lips on Chang's ass.
Wow.
Apparently, that's a thing that happens.
Welcome, everybody. Hope you've all had a decent week. We are here. We have a number of we had events coming up. We got announcements coming. A lot of things to cover, and we're going to be talking just about community events. You know, the things that we're going to have going down, and that's upcoming. As terms of announcements, I know a lot of you have probably seen ads around for our weekend event that's about to hit. We're about to have our next exhibition. It's going to be coming up this weekend. So again, if you're just hearing about that, if you're late to the boat, fire up, grab your designs for Verdict Day. It's going to be a blast, whether you're looking for battle royale or team battles or
Well,
whatever
well,
else.
hold
But
hold
I'm
on,
going too
Zealous. What?
fast. I'm going a little fast. If you are looking for more info about the exhibition or other events for that matter, be sure to come on over to ACL. That's Armored Core Legacy. That's currently one of the busiest hubs. We got the busiest hub for AC right now. We're
.com.
.com. We're
Gotta
gonna
get
have
the .com on there.
we're gonna have threads set up. If you'd like to come check out the event or just exactly what things are going to be about, you're going to see links to this all over the place. There's banners. I've seen it on various spots. I know Steel Wolves had some advertisements for it up. It's been up on the Facebook groups, and any of those things will lead you there. Also, just for us, don't forget if you would like to drop us a line here at Ravens Voice, don't forget we have ravensvoiceacl@gmail.com, or you can drop on by and visit us at ravensvoice.com.
And you can leave us a message on our Facebook page or on Twitter, which you can also find links for that on or YouTube. But honestly, we don't check the YouTube one too much. But you can find that at our website. You gotta do the plugin. You gotta plug it.
That's your thing. It's
It
it's
is
it's a
my
half
thing.
thing.
It is. I'm cheesy like that, but I still have chapped lips. So, but yes, exhibition, the third exhibition for this generation. The first one for Verdict Day. Looking forward to it. New to this one, going from midnight to midnight Eastern time zone. So for us Central, that'll be 11 the day
Hmm.
before, going until 11 p.m. But 24 hours of this, and
Hmm.
that's that. I'm looking forward to seeing how that turns out.
AC Marathon.
We won't have a channel up for 24 hours. We
No.
will be around. We will be around for the bulk of Sunday, I believe.
Hmm.
I think I'm actually going to start. I'm not going to have a channel up, but I'm going to be trolling around, starting around midnight. And just join some channels because that's something I've never been able to do. I mean, all the other exhibition events we've had our channel. I think you went into some other channels, but
Yeah.
I was always in ours. So
Hmm.
I think I'll take that opportunity to go and just be a guy and just go play. And then Sunday we'll have one up for the bulk of the day.
Yeah, good deal. If you can take the chance to do that, I think about everybody that visited at least our channel last time took that moment to, if they weren't stepping away for a break, just to step out to check out other channels, who was playing, what was going on, or they want to jump into some of the streaming rooms, or whoever was recording. So yeah, or if heck, you just want to stay in the can and stay in one spot and get comfortable, your blanket will be there. Your spot will be reserved.
Your
So
blanket?
sure.
What?
I don't know if you heard about this, dude. I mean, it's rep points. If you stay in a room long enough, you get your own blankie. So it's a thing.
What? No one ever gave me blankie.
You-
I want a blankie. I want to do. We need to come out with the Ravens voice blankie now.
Keep an Stay tuned. Stay tuned for that
That needs to
merchandise.
happen. That would be awesome. I think that would sell. I think little white whoopee with our emblem on there. I think that would do well. The Ravens voice blanket. Of course it'll have to say like from Chang or something. And we have to give him the props because apparently we can't do anything without him. So
What Tierson is referring to here is this motion of taking Cheng's methodology and his ideology about AC and taking it as like a gospel.
that is absolutely absurd. It's to the point of that I'm ridiculing it. It's so absurd.
One thing I spoke a bit about this week too with some others is that what's being done here with TRV, it doesn't end with us. I mean, we're hoping that this is going to be the beginning of community platform, a way for people to get a voice about AC out there. So no, it doesn't end with us, given, but it definitely is an independent platform. It's not a spot to spout a certain side of politics. And yeah, there's opinion. There's plenty of that perspective and opinion. You can debate,
That's
and
what it's all about.
it
It's all
is.
about perspective and opinion.
We can talk about decipher and chop these things up and discuss them all day. But what that entails though is that's always going to be done from an independent perspective, and from what we have here. And you guys are the ones that are going to help grow this thing. Give us those other opinions, constructive criticism, whatever you got, positive or negative. It's how we all form this thing. So
It's kind of funny talking an opinion. As I normally do, I'll voice my opinion, and I did last week on the conversation about Japanese players. The irony to that was, I mean, there was definitely some opinions on what I had said, mainly on what the ACL Skype chat, which I am not a part of, for no other particular reason than I've already got my hands full with a bunch of shit, so I'm not on there. But I was told about some of the reactions. The only ironic part about that is that some of the people who disagreed with my opinion that I voiced were the same people that, well, I didn't cite them specifically, but they were some of the same people who I was basing some of their opinions on, and it was kind of ironic that they were then arguing about it. So that's kind of confusing to me for them to at one time say one thing and then disagree with me when I cite their opinion. So that's interesting.
regardless of which topic I think becomes focal, I think the good thing about this overall that we can glean from it is there's discussion going on about it. That's what I was saying. When I drop into chats, I'm happy to see that period that we can bring up a topic or we can have something, but then it'll be talked about, right? And that'll pass to various outlets and venues. That's what this is all about. It's not just a spur of the moment thing we'll throw out there. It's for a continued dialogue we want to help build for the
Right.
community, and that you guys are going to help naturally help push as well for just talking about the stuff. So
And
yeah.
on that note, we throw this out there all the time. In fact, we've already plugged it once. If you want to email something or say something on our Facebook or Twitter page or something, and of course the forums, we always post a thread for each episode. Guys, we want to hear what you have to say. If you want to talk about something on the show, I mean, obviously we've had a wide array of community members on the show, and we're happy to do that. If there's something that you want us to talk about on the show, please, feel free. The forums are great. Obviously, that's been a core staple place for the AC community to go is the forums. But we're here as well. If you want your opinion voiced, it's your opinion. We'll cite it as your opinion, and if we agree or disagree, we'll probably say one way or the other, or we'll just drop a bomb that you said, and we'll let it sit there and stew. So however you want to do it. God knows we've done that for me a couple times. So um, okay, so yeah, I mean that's that. We want to hear what everyone has to say, but we wanted to spend the first half. We want to talk about all the stuff that has been going on,
Hmm.
or that is going on. A lot of events. We plugged the exhibition. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to meeting all the new people. Always meet new people, and looking forward to seeing all the cool builds. There hasn't been an exhibition yet where I didn't learn a couple things.
So there you have it. We mentioned this last show as well, but if you've had that random build in the back of the shed, you just no, I can't run it for whatever reason, or you don't think it gels with your team. This is the time to use it. Whatever crack idea you got. So looking
Oh
forward to
yeah, there
seeing you
was
there.
we had those two builds, those two Giga Missile builds that we tried out in the
Oh, those are
exhibition
always.
the last time. Yeah, that didn't go so great, but that's because somebody waited way too long.
Oh, I wonder.
Well, dude, that's not me. Okay, so what else is going on? Let's see. We got the exhibition coming up here. The next event going on is the Master of Arena tournament. This is not being run by any of us over at ACL or the Ravens Voice. This is being run by Type Alex. Do I actually have that right?
Believe so.
If you guys haven't learned yet, I butcher names. It's horrible. But some of those names are horrible too. So, oh, come on, it's true.
At least you didn't pull a the buffet conversion that you used to do all the time.
Shut
I'm
up.
not gonna let you live that one down. But
That's hey.
go on though.
Okay, so type Alex. I mean, there's no spaces in that, so I could be. I guess I could be. I think technically I am saying that wrong since there is no space. But he is running a 16-man tournament. I think yeah, starting the 15th. There you go, day after Valentine's. But it's going on for a few different days. It all depends on how many people show up.
Hmm.
Okay, I mean, this is cool. This filled up quickly. I'm happy that somebody's running a tournament. I mean, I tried in December, and maybe for various reasons that just didn't work well.
Hmm.
It got squashed fairly quickly, but okay, so it's February 15th, and it's a 16-man 1v1 event. This thing has been added on to over time, which is fine. I mean, you have to amend your event as needed.
Hmm.
The possible dates for this is the 15th, 16th, the 19th, 21st, and the 22nd for a 16-man 1v1 single elimination tournament. Wait, hold on.
There's still a little bit more. We got
Yeah, there is no. I have to take that back. There is. It's 2 out of 3 rounds. There is a loser bracket.
there you go.
Okay, so it isn't single elimination. It's double elimination. All right, loser bracket.
Hmm.
I mean, when this thing first popped up, he didn't have a date for it. There was only a handful of people that signed up. It did fill quickly, which is good. I think that's great. That shows that there's definite interest for competitive play. Um, he locked it though. That's been my biggest issue with this event is that he locked it, and um, it's like 16 people because he doesn't want any buys.
Hmm.
I don't understand that. I mean, you and I both know we've both run tournaments. You know that with the ACMMs, I've probably ran somewhere around 20 of them. Um, buys can
Hmm.
suck, but buys are random. You randomly select them, and so what's the big deal? Yeah, it can be a little bit of a hassle to deal with buys and to have to manage all that. But if you have a bracket creator, or if you study how brackets are created fairly, this isn't a big deal. So
Well, it's interesting you mentioned bracket creator. This for the bracket organization, Type has specifically said he's going to be using Challenge. Now we've had Challenge for other events. The one that comes to mind immediately for me is TEM1 Tournament of the European Master, and which Chang helped host. But yeah, you go to the spot and you can plug in whatever you're trying to do to your event, and it's a really pretty quick, streamlined way to get things organized and also to get a good, solid link where people can go and see the progress of the event or how a certain event unfolded. So a lot of that, at least these days, with software like that, can just be done for you, and that's it doesn't cost tons. That's just free.
right.
That's out there for you to use. Um, and since we haven't had a chance to speak with him directly, there could be other reasons. I've learned that for some people, it's not necessarily the logistics of having a buy. Sometimes it's more of an ideological dispute about it. Well, I don't.
Oh, okay. I mean, there could be other reasons, but he does specifically note that
Right.
it is to avoid buys.
Right,
So
for him. So that's fair. That's fair. So for whatever we have it, here that's where it's listed. But if you're looking for info, the stuff's going to be clearly posted. He's also posted, I think, an example from King of Iron Gaming.
mhm.
If you're looking to see how these modules are going to flow and everything.
Yeah,
But
no, I mean that's cool. I don't I'm just
right.
not okay. I'm not a fan of capping this just out of principle. I mean, you're trying to build an event for the community. Especially right now when we really should have some kind of gauge. The exhibition events, as great as they are, aren't a gauge at all as far as competitive events for Armored Core. I mean, they
Mhm.
are exhibitions. They are by definition not to be seen as serious competition. So I think in this sense it was a perfect opportunity wasted to really. I mean, this thing could have gotten rolling. He could have ended up with 32 easily. We'll never know. Because I mean, I was going to sign up for it, and I saw the cap. It's like, oh, you could be put on standby. I was like, I'm not going to be put on standby for 7 days, 7 different days that this thing could possibly go. I'm not going to sit around for 7 days and cancel whatever else I might be going and doing in my life to maybe get into the event. You know, So I mean, this is where I have my debate with this. Uh, my argument. Now, I was looking at it again today because we were going to talk about it,
Mhm.
and there's a rule that's popped up here. There's actually two. The rule of what is it? Um, Stagnancy. Rule of
Mhm.
stagnancy. Uh, all right, this popped up in the European event for five, which was right around the end of AC5.
Mhm.
I'm not a fan of this. I think you're taking, regardless if you like the strategy or not, you're taking perfectly good strategies and you're throwing them out.
Yeah, st stagnancy strays a little bit away from what we've had in the past with things like gentlemen's bands and things like that, where you target specific parts. This a rule like this is centered more around specific lulls in combat, okay, or like attempting to, uh, you know, force like or skirt like the forced elimination rule. Um, I think depending on who you have with you and who's running it, this can be a very tricky thing to, enforce depending on like how you, uh, the ways that you actually communicate lulls, true lulls in combat, and how you if you're watching that closely and everything, okay, something will be on the wall like intentional about what's actually happening. But this is a new one. At least in terms of when I say new, I'm saying in event history. I know in past events hosted for AC, like before, like 4 and 5 and everything, there was not necessarily a stagnancy clause. If anything, the time of the match was shortened to basically, and encourage tighter play or just not as much time to maneuver and goof around with stuff, or just to get your hits in and call it there. Um, I think a lot of this is born of experience that people have actually had through playing, through other free battles and through other team tournaments. They might feel that, well, we've seen this enough and we want to be able to curb it. But there is some gray water here.
Eh.
Yeah, you don't dig
What?
it.
No, man, this is stupid. I think that I mean, if you're going to run an event, you need to take a very neutral stance on things. You need to accept the fact that there are going to be strategies, there's going to be builds, there's going to be parts that you do not like that are going to be used. And your personal judgment on whether or not that's acceptable, I mean, okay, it's your event. You can hold it whatever however you want. But if you want people to go to it, if you want people to find it credible, throwing out strategies, perfectly good strategies, whether they're honorable or not, whether you like them or not, if they're fair, you don't throw them out.
Hmm. I mean, the biggest part about it is this kind of takes me back to, let's say, TP backpedalers. What used to be named an LR, like
Mm.
certain like sniping strats and different things like that, where people might get really frustrated about those and say, "Oh my gosh, we're just gonna go through this whole cycle of the match and just staying at a certain range." Like mm, that's where part of the gray water comes in about it. Like on on one side, you can sort of see where people establish you start this round in a certain way and then the rest of it plays out that way and the whole thing's janked. But I don't I really don't like interfering with that because I found, at least in my opinion from running events, that's really really tricky to enforce properly. I'm more interested in having the event itself like run and play out than going for
Mm.
it. See, and this is what's hilarious. You always mention me being gentlemanly about this because I think it deserves proper discussion to talk through the things. It's not necessarily I'm going to throw a vantage point out there immediately because I think there are multiple sides to
My
this and those
opinion's
perspectives.
right.
But you're one of those guys. You're one of
No,
those
I'm
guys.
joking. I'm joking. I understand where you're
Yeah,
coming from, though. I'm joking. You
but
should have just said I agree, and that'd be it. No. Um, here's the other thing that bugs me about this is you have two new rules here. I don't remember either of these rules being up when this was first posted. More importantly, though, I don't remember either of these rules existing when this confirmed list was
mm-mm,
filled. I mean,
no.
you also have the bad sportsmanship rule, which we should touch as well. But I mean, if any of these guys don't like this rule,
Mm-hmm,
then they're just not going to show.
mm-hmm,
And I guess at the same time I don't understand it because I've been looking through here. I don't see anything stating if this is a locked build event or not. And if it's not, and let's say in the first round you actually, you lost because you ended up having to chase an AC the whole time because you were just too slow, you pick a different AC.
Hmm.
Build something else. You've got 2 out of 3.
Yeah. Or look at, how the way your build's running, how the strat is going to fit, or how you can use like a map to your advantage. I mean, there's not as much of that now because a lot of our maps are more streamlined. You deal with a lot more open space, but
Yeah.
still, that's where you have your rounds in between. Unless has some event state that you have to take said design and run with it the entire tournament.
Uh, and don't get me wrong, I can understand where somebody comes from putting this rule out there. I mean, it sucks. It's not fun to have to chase somebody. If you've got a slow AC and you're just after a lightweight, and he's pelted you down enough to where if he just stays away at this point and keeps more AP, he's gonna win. That sucks. It's infuriating. But again, it comes down to the kind of competition that you want.
Hmm.
And if you want a competition that is going to be accepted, good and bad, as a fair, open, honest event, I think you can't have this rule.
Hmm. Hmm. And at the end of the day, there's this last note about how it'll be the discretion of the refs that help really decide any discrepancies. I'm not sure if it's going to be passed through all three or just one. I'm assuming it's going to be whoever's watching said match because they're going to be moving through the event at a certain pace. But
So,
go ahead.
I was. Never mind. Go ahead. You still were finishing a point.
No, 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 no. The only thing I was mentioning was just in regards to the refs. If how basically they pass that whole chain of just decision making, but it looks like it's just going to be one at a time. Because I'm assuming you're going to have multiple matches running and going, and everyone wouldn't have to
You'll
be
have no
bottled for
more than
one.
3.
Right, right. It won't just be one happening at a time. So yeah. Hmm.
But okay, so then you have the bad sportsmanship rule. I thought this was funny. I mean, honestly, this took me back to some of the stuff I used to say for
Mm-hmm.
ACMMs. And I never really, I think I'd mentioned something about bad sportsmanship, but there wouldn't be any rule on it. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same, I think it's hilarious. And again, not in a, I'm not making fun of it. I kind of chuckled when he's any signs of disrespect will not be tolerated. You can be penalized. And then at the same time, he says something near the end about show some balls.
Yeah, it's a fun note here, and part of this comes with the online age. When there's more of a focus on land, there's obviously a different,
Oh,
slight.
you were face to face.
Right, you were face to face, so there's obviously that's going to shift the criteria a little bit. It went from, hey, don't, put someone's spirit down over chat or something, and don't, beat people down verbally to, okay, look, you're going to be in a building, often like a place of work, be sure to respect your surroundings, so on and so forth. Like there was a different way to line a sentence like that, but it's interesting seeing the transition and where things have come to how we translate those things to an online version of AC, an online competition. So hey,
See, I don't understand this one too. I get it. I
yeah,
do because I mean there's some crazy trash talking motherfuckers out there playing online. But I mean again, this comes down to strategy. And if you don't want to hear it, just turn off your headset for the match.
I mean it's simple as that. Like I know some people have an easy time blocking that out, right? Or just
Right.
saying, I can focus and I can just go, straight forward what I'm doing. Others though really do have a problem dealing with that. Whether that's by an age thing or whether that's a focus thing, others do. Um,
Well, then they can go buy the Ravens voice blanket and they can suck their thumb.
So I think this is perfectly fine in the context he has it listed. I think it has its place, and it's something if you take it in context that well, it's grounds that should come along with most events. I could see how
Yeah.
the syntax could bother some people, but it's proper in where it's placed.
I
So,
think these two rules together really frame this event very well. I'm going to
hmm
be quite honest. Maybe some will take that negatively, maybe some will take that positively, but I definitely think that these two rules really frame this event.
hmm
It's just that, overall, hey, I hate to sound so damn negative, and I'm probably just going to be saying, oh, he's talking down the event. He hates he doesn't care about the community. He's talking down whatever. All right. Um, I think this event is cool just in the fact that it's happening. I have some doubts over some of the rules, obviously, but at the end of the day, if this thing can actually happen, if he can actually finish this event, my accolades to Type Alex.
yeah,
I I wish it the best, and I wish all the competitors the best.
Right on. So, and
I think I should leave it at that.
yeah, man. I mean that heck that covers it. Unless you want to get unless you want to get yourself a flag, a red flag.
I could go on for an hour.
I know. I think you're on your first flag. You got two more, if you're going by these rules. So
Oh no. No. Okay, all right. Let's move on. What do you have on your list? What's next on your list?
the next thing on our list. Well, we had a couple things that were mentioned in the via the TRV thread that were to come up, but I think in terms of events that we had grounds covered, what I wanted to go over, and you actually had a better track on this, was
Oh,
was the message that came in through our YouTube account that we hadn't gotten around to yet.
we got a couple messages from YouTube
Yeah,
account.
I want to hit those up.
Okay, these ironically came in the same day. And guys, I apologize. Obviously, you listen to the show via YouTube, and maybe you already knew it. And if you're regular listeners, then you know that we were on a hiatus, and last week we had to talk about the patch. But these actually came in on the same day. All right,
Hmm.
I'm gonna read one of these. We had two messages come in. I'm gonna read one of these, and let's see if you can decipher this. Um, hi RV. I am Wolf Lord 360. I want to play in Big War, the the Blanny and Annie players, what is going on? What Zealous? What is going on?
Okay, well, here's the deal. This is what I glean. Hey, Wolf Lord 360. If you are looking to play in the conquest mode, the new conquest mode that we have now, world mode, uh,
World mode.
but you're curious about where the player base is sitting with those things, or kind of where we are, the first thing I encourage you to do is just hit merc mode a bit. That'll help just kind of get a feel of getting maybe some missions in, being able to chance to play with the community a bit. In terms of actually engaging with the event. If you have an active team, if you have members that willing to run sorties with you or to try to go out there and cruise territories to see what bases would be available or what you can participate in, go for it. I myself and Tierce, we are not on a team, at the moment. We help out, with the ACL events and things that go on, but I can't say from that perspective, like being on, a full team that, this is what you're going to expect going into world mode. The biggest thing I encourage you to do would be to get a team. If you can find an active group of players to be with, that'll help you tons. Go ahead and get into world mode through there. Hopefully, you can catch free battle and some other events, that go on from there. But that's going to be, I think, your first key.
Agreed.
So
If that was in fact the answer to his question.
I hope so. I hope so. That's the very best I could do with that one.
So we had one from Xeon Nova. It says, "Hey guys, love your discussion videos. Thank you. Just
Thanks.
curious, what's the name of the music used in your introduction? Just thought I'd ask, as it sounds so cool. Keep it up. It's all you, Zealous."
Well, thank you, sir. That's actually an honor. Hearing that this track may have you feel at least that it came from somewhere else. The name of that track is Legacy Memory Alloys, named shortly after we helped with the Armored Core Legacy, the promotion campaign for that. And we were kind of talking about themes and what to use and what to come up with, and this eventually, this transition to being our TRV, main theme. But yeah, Legacy Memory Alloys 1.0. Don't be surprised if that changes at some point, if we have some different remixes or some little touches we add to it. But that is an in-house composition. That's something that we built specifically for TRV. So,
You will find that everything, just about everything. I mean, we use little clips every here and there, and
hmm
special songs every now and then. But most of our staple stuff, we make all ourselves.
yep,
So, good or bad on that.
homegrown.
Yeah,
Love
that
it.
was awesome.
That
Somebody
was.
somebody actually liked your song. It's about time.
There've been, I've heard a couple of questions about it, but this is my first time reading a post about it. That's cool. That's really cool. Glad some of you have an ear for things. Now, what I want to ask Xeon here is, are you a fan of specific AC soundtracks? If you have an ear for music, obviously, with the name of this track, we borrowed heavily from Shape Memory Alloys from the old AC soundtrack. So, looks like you're interested in music. If you got any soundtracks from AC you really love, post that up. I'm curious to see if any of the AC games you really dug, which soundtracks you like most. So cool,
Yeah,
man.
I think we both agreed that the theme for the show needed to be based off of that classic Gen 1 theme while you're in the garage and everything.
Yep,
Dun,
definitely.
dun, 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 dun. Do, 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 do. Dun,
Dun
dun,
dun
dun,
dun
dun.
dun dun.
So awesome. Still the best music. Oh, when they remade that for Nexus, oh,
Yeah, they had a specific remix of that for the second disc and the Revo disc. We talked a bit about this on our retrospective, and that was awesome to hear again.
yes, it
Um,
was.
there have also been some really cool flashes of it in the remixes Mr. Kota Hoshino's done with Frequency. There was it wasn't from Reprises. I think it was from Sunrise, but he had a combined mix of Artificial Sky and Shape Memory Alloys that was pretty sharp. And during the middle, it was after like the couple of choruses, you heard both themes together, a bit of Artificial Sky and then the original Garage theme at a higher
Mm,
pitch. Magic rocked. So
meshed well. It did.
cool, man. Cool, cool, cool.
All right, so let's get into some sad news and bad news, I guess, for the community, anyways. Um, if you are a member of Godly Perfection, sometime in the last few weeks, was it the last few weeks? It was right around Christmas, or it was somewhere around there.
Mhm, mhm,
During the holidays, Godly Perfection, I believe that's his name, same as the website, isn't it?
mhm. Yep.
He posted basically that he didn't specifically say anything about the AC section of his site and the forums and all that, but basically he mentioned that he was moving back into creating games, which if you've read on his website, that's a passion of his,
That's what he does.
and something that yeah, it's something that he's been doing for a long time. It doesn't strike me at all that he would find a game like Armored Core attractive. Then because I mean, in a large sense, you are creating your gaming experience with AC with your builds. So, um, but yeah, he's moving. Basically, what he's saying, he's moving forward with this, which I think unfortunately means that's almost an official way of saying I'm moving away from this, which would be Armored Core, which would be his website,
Mhm.
which would also be in line with the fact that he's been gone for quite a while now. In fact, we were going to line him up and within our first couple months to have him on the show to do an interview.
Yeah.
And we were talking back and forth about it, and then he was very busy. He was moving and all that. Real life was doing what it was doing, and then it stopped. We were to the point of picking a date, and communication just stopped. So
Yeah.
he's married, he's got a kid, he's trying to build a profession, he's trying to follow his dreams on this. But it is a shame because the Godly Perfection AC forums was pretty much seen, well, for a long time it was the forums. If you wanted
Mhm.
real information about the game, if you wanted you know decent community with no nonsense, it was a good place to go. And when I got back into
Mhm.
AC5, that was back in Army Corps with AC5. That's where I did most of my reading. That's where I did most of my trolling. It really is a shame that this doesn't look like it's going to be revived.
Yeah, RP definitely a spot for, and can still certainly can be for good focused discussion regarding AC. You had a lot of specifics on mechanics if you were looking for that, very up to date news on how certain parts interacted due to patch changes and other things like that. It was just good focused technical discussion, a very technical forum, and that's appreciated. I think your spots like that are really really important in the AC community and help really add a good nice firm foundation of information on top of the other forums that we have and everything like that. Whether or not where the project will go, it remains to be seen. But I mean, if things are going rather dormant for now, obviously that, well, unfortunately, it might cause some of the base to either migrate elsewhere or kind of taper down themselves if you frequented Reaching Perfection a lot.
Well, and I mean, we've seen a lot of people openly say on ACL forums that they were over at
Yeah,
Reaching Perfection, and that they've come over
and
here
they're
just because
starting
it's
to.
been stagnant for so long. I mean, it has been stagnant for quite a while, and then for months later for him to say that he's focusing
Right.
elsewhere, I mean, look, it's all but coming out and saying, this is where it's going to be. This is,
Hmm.
what you've had for months is what you could probably expect to have for a while.
Right.
It's a shame, and I think, I think when you come to the the current gen in what will be the history of the current gen of Armored Core. Godly Perfection definitely has a place.
Hmm.
His videos, I loved his videos. I learned a lot off of them. I mean, here I was coming back from almost 5 years away from the game in general. I learned a lot from those early videos that he did. The website
Hmm.
was good. I mean, he definitely had something. He definitely whether he meant to or not, he definitely found a good place in the community. It's just kind of a shame that this is going in this direction,
Yeah.
which is the direction of, well, I'm not going to do anything with it,
Right. So I
and
mean,
not even passing the baton at all.
no, no. At the very least, things were announced, so people had the really active people at least had a chance to, kind of get their bags and maybe move elsewhere. But we have had, there's maybe a glimmer of hope. We've had other spots that have disappeared who have returned. I think Ravenshaven is a great
Ravens
example.
Haven.
They had totally dropped off the grid for a while, and now they actually have their forum back up again. If you visited there in the past, and if uh, you're looking for them. They are there. That's armoredcore.org. They are there
Ra-
again. So,
Ravens Haven. Oh, that was a place, man. Back in the day, Ravens. Ooh, that was a volatile little forums there, for not little at all, but that was. I mean, it's yeah, that was fun.
MOC written all over it. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, with those things, some of those things in mind, our YouTube comments and some of the messages and mails we got, that kind of brings things full circle back to the TRV thread. Some of the responses we've had. And I'm gonna peel this back to this is the end of our retrospective series discussion. And had some good talk here. TM Raven, thanks. You chipped in a lot in this one. You also posted a fantastic link. Apparently, you did this just a couple years ago. That would explain why I missed it back in the last Raven era. You had a chance to go in depth about some info. I was looking at that. I'll talk about in just a moment here. But yeah, you just want to take a second and just spend a moment responding to your comment. I so intended to get another post in, but it's just been thing after thing over the week. But hey, we got a chance to do it here. So um, we we got to discussing part breaking in Last Raven and talking about specifics and kind of where we were on that during the podcast when we did the retrospective and how much of it we actually covered and the various things we went over. And then our conversation kind of spilled into LAN events a bit. So the first thing you did, you posted a link over at ACU for the breaking values, last Raven part break values, and you had everything from heads to cores to legs, the frames listed, which was nice. Uh, really good resource. You go on to say that for LAN tournaments, you hadn't personally been to any, but I should be sure to remember that MOC 5 was for Nexus. I was asking if anyone remembered if there was an MOC event for the late ACs that we had, and he said it was. And I, part of my old man memory, I guess, going crazy, I forgot I mentioned that one. So, um, yeah, you also talked about it. There was, a tournament or so in SoCal, and then all those videos are on Booyaka's channel, Penguin Deus, and some of the others, and some of the other staples that were ran and mentioned. All good times and good memories to go over. You talked a little bit about Kai as well. You were mostly there for LR. I remember seeing you there. Uh, Thank you. I thought you'd totally forgotten that we had a chance to discuss and kind of get you into Kai back when you were looking at how to set those things up. It's funny. You brought back an old memory there. But yeah, this was just kind of a cool clarification post. We don't always get a chance, I think, to talk with members of our community who've had a long run or a long base, because we're so busy talking about AC5 or other things like that. But no, you just you straight out laid that out. I mean, there's obviously a lot that I forgot that you helped fill me in here, and some stuff that I learned that you had a chance to attend or not attend, and which you had a chance to go to and talk about the different groups, who's available on Kai and all that stuff. So fun talk, fun talk. Good YouTube links and stuff I'm gonna definitely keep in the archive. So yep,
All right, all
that's
right.
what I had.
Okay,
That'll do it.
so next one. I got two more things I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I'll save that one for last. Okay. So, we're doing the exhibition this month. There's going to be that tournament in February. So let's talk a little bit past that.
Yeah.
Specifically, we're going to be doing an event in March. I'm not totally sure what we're doing yet.
Hmm.
ACL will be doing either Either it will be another like War for November event
Mm-hmm.
in March, or it's going to be a UNAC event.
Mm-hmm.
And because I don't know which ones when, those are definitely coming up. So that's stuff to think about, guys. Definitely, start working on that. Those will be coming out soon. I do believe Cheng is going to pick up where we left off, or let me rephrase, where I left off. I was going to be doing a big team event. Well, I think in March I was
Yeah.
going to do that. He's going to be doing that later on. So things to think about. A lot of team play coming up. If you're a UNAC fan, those things are definitely coming up. I don't have much more details yet because these things have been changed around a couple times. So, and I did attempt to find out what Cheng had decided on that, and I did not get a reply tonight. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but those are coming up. Lots of team stuff, UNAC stuff. Um, yeah, anything you want to add on into that, Zealous?
Oh, no. Some of this, we want to give people the outline that it heads up that yes, there are events coming, there are things down the road, but we don't want to drop too many spoilers. There are things we know
I
about it,
do.
so
I do. I
you
want to
do,
drop a lot of
you
spoilers.
do. I know.
I think we don't. I don't think we promote these things nearly long enough.
Mm-hmm. The cycle of
I
what they
think we
have.
need months to build up. So it only if you can only catch a handful of casual fans who see this event and they see it based on something they really enjoy, be it world mode or Unax, if you get them more interested because you gave them some notice instead of 2 weeks or 3 weeks before, and they're like, well, I'm not going to be ready for that, but give them a couple months, all the better, all the better.
Right, give them a heads up. In all seriousness, though, I'm not even sure on any details outside of that. The way things are going to be developing or the specifics of said events, just that
I
they're
would
coming.
be
So
I would be spoiling the shit out of all this stuff if I could.
yeah.
So, okay, last we wanted to talk about something that we're going to be working on here. One of the biggest topics about Armored Core, be it this gen, any gen, is what's wrong with Armored Core.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always been something you could poke at, be
Mm-hmm.
it the lack of online play during Gen 3, splitting it on consoles and with Gen 4, the lack of I guess previous gen like mobility in Gen 5,
Mm-hmm.
or whatnot. There's always been that people, if you're playing Armored Core, you have an opinion on what is right or wrong about this game.
Mm-hmm.
With that, and these are always popular topics, sometimes very heated topics, but they always grab people's attention. With that, we are going to start putting together a three-part series called Repairing Armored Core. This is again three-part series based on the topic that I just kind of spoke up about there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be three different sections to this. Like I said, it's going to be a three-part series. Part one will be about what the community can do to improve things within the game, because the community of Armored Core and the game goes hand in hand. The second part is going to be what the developers can do, practical, realistic things that the developers could do to improve the gameplay. And then part three is going to be about basically things that they should do that we won't see, at least not right now, and probably not in the future, but things that maybe they've always been missing from the game, or maybe there are things that are missing that they've taken out, or things that with the current gen and how in the play style with it that have shown lacking. We're going to do a big campaign about this. We want this to be a pretty big event. We want to hear a lot of people's opinions on this, as we normally do in the community. You hear about, everyone has an opinion about this. So, but this is something we're going to start working heavily on. And if people have ideas, if they have comments on this, you're going to start seeing posts on probably all the forums, all the community forums about this. And we're going to collect a lot of data from people on this one,
Yeah.
because it deserves it. This is a big topic. Whether you agree with it or not, it deserves it. Um, but yeah, so we wanted to announce that a little bit, let you know this is what we're working on right now, outside of continuing to improve the website to where we want it to go. Or we were doing that a bit tonight, even before the show.
Mm-hmm.
That is not where we want it, but as far as what the big topic's going to be that we're going to be tackling, there you go.
Yeah, and this is one that get excited about this. I know I am. Like it's kind of funny because as Tearsin just mentioned, a lot of us have always had a gripe in some form or fashion, but it's too broad, I think, an issue for just one or two people to sit, in POCAP because it's a lot of things. We're going to find agreements in general on a lot of different things, I think, as a community, but there's also going to be branching points that some of us may have missed or may cover in a shorthanded way, and someone else could elaborate on better. So, if you've had something stewing, or just thinking about what you would really point at that have just been is a prominent issue with current gen AC, get ready to post here. We'd love to hear from you. So, good stuff.
Actually, I think that's it on my list. Did you have anything that you wanted to get caught up on those weeks we were gone?
As far as the rest of it, I think the rest of the responses have been pretty solid. So, with that, sir, I'm ready to go ahead and wrap and get ready to head into part two.
Let's go to break. Part two will, of course, be one of the things that we have not discussed yet about the time we were gone, which was
Hmm.
the design contest.
Yes.
Which we've already done a part of our show. I think was that the last show before we went to break where we did our voting.
Yeah, it was. It was the last show, I think, before the retrospective actually started, that we had a chance to kind of sit and talk about each design, or each design category that was there, the different generations, and kind of break those down. But yeah, we're finally gonna get to what we were looking at doing for when we came back, and that's breaking this thing down and discussing it. So
We're going to talk about the winners. Drek's going to join us on the show, and we're going to talk to him about the event. And yeah, that will be coming after the break.
stay tuned. Thanks, everyone. Hey, everybody, welcome back for part two of our Friday podcast. This is Zealous here with Tearsin and also our guest, Queen Drac Wraith.
Hello, everybody. Sorry for no female voice. You people wouldn't be able to handle it.
I think we're okay without it.
Yeah,
I
we'll
think, I think
manage.
we're all right.
We'll manage. We'll manage. Yeah,
I don't
hey,
want to. I don't want to kill the people who are hosting for this. So
we've, we've been spared. But welcome.
yes.
Welcome all. We're
Okay.
here to talk and discuss the design contest that we had. We wanted to get to this during our podcast last week, but some other matters and obviously the patch, right? I mean, we
Right.
did our
Yeah.
entire cast on that. So we're playing a bit of catch up here, hence part of our title. But
Mm.
yeah, we're just taking a chance to sit down and go through this. The fun thing about this contest is that it was a design contest that spanned multiple generations.
All of them.
Usually, oh yeah, when we ran MOA through VD, most of the time when these come up, they are focused around a specific gen or a specific AC game. But yeah, we just want to walk through some of these. Want to reflect on some experiences, what Drac took away, what some more of us took away from it, and just some of the ACs we voted for.
Yeah, I agree. I don't remember. Well, most design contests are focused on the actual build of the AC, not so much the aesthetics as well. But I mean, the scope of this was pretty huge, Drac.
Yeah.
Um, well, first, I mean, how did you come up with the idea of doing something like this?
Like part of me was just like I kind of want to host a design. Just like a design contest sounded cool, and I was thinking first of all I was thinking like competitive builds, but I'm just like I don't like have verdict day and stuff, so I was like how would I really judge that? Not that it's just like aesthetics. Why not? It,
Hmm.
it opens up pretty much every single part in the game. Like every single part, like anything you want to do to your AC basically. So it just kind of because like those parts like got ban lists and parts that just suck that may look awesome. You just design it to make cool functionality. Screw it.
I think it was a
Then
lot of fun. I considered entering myself. I didn't because I didn't have the time to do so.
Yeah.
yeah. I can definitely say some designs definitely sucked for lack of time put into them. I can say that like one of I think like my last Raven design sucked. So
Well, speaking of, which, I guess, which aesthetics, you like, and which ones we preferred. We talked a little bit about this beforehand. Let's kick off at the top of the charts, I think, with our current gen and just kind of work our way backwards.
yeah.
The one of the first ones here to bring up, I think, is the AC5 through the Verdict Day division. And we had our entries and our winners for this one. This was one that you really didn't seem to gel with a whole lot in terms of enjoying the aesthetics, did you?
Uh,
Yeah,
some
go
of
ahead
these
and elaborate on
designs
that.
I can say, yeah, some of these designs were definitely competitive builds.
Hmm.
I believe Relima 2 is one of them, by the way. The legs, like, I just don't like the Tolima legs, and let's see, I mean, just, I think go over some of your thoughts, alright?
Yeah. If anything, too, we had well, I don't know if you pointed this as purely competitive, but we did have the Vendetta, Vendetta focus build early on, and I believe this was before some of the changes went through via the patches. As we kind of scroll down as we go through these, though, I think Tearsin and I had come to a similar conclusion that in terms of just raw looks, this was probably one of the least appealing ones here. Oh, besides the amazing quad legs in Design 4. Of
Yeah.
course, you can't discount the full legs. They're just that's a different story. But regardless, we look at the rest of these in context and in focus, and uh, Midnight, lead number 7 was one of my votes. Well, not just because of how blended with the background, and you can pick any garage background you want, obviously, but in terms of the chunky theme that AC5 and Verdict Day bring to the bulky feel to the mecha designs, I thought that one gelled well. But there wasn't. I felt there wasn't tons to work with here compared to the other divisions that we had, and maybe that lack of
Alright,
variety kind of cost us.
yeah.
Oh.
I'm just gonna say it right now. I don't think it's just that there's lack of things to work with. I mean, like you just look at
Mhm.
some of like the results there on ICL. Like you've got, I think Mari posted some stuff that's just like it can be done. Every division, I believe, like every division has what it takes to make a really great looking AC.
Oh, it can.
It's just a matter of who can you do it.
Well, the issue is not necessarily the parts pool. It's more of I should specify that the entries that we have,
The
right?
Right.
entries
As far as
average are really
and what and
lackluster.
what
The
we're
only one that
selecting.
really stands out to me that's good is Midnight.
Hmm.
That's the one I actually voted first. I just like cannons because I was like a sniper cannon user and I'm like 5.
Hmm.
I
So that
think that's I think that's a trap that you fall into with this with the current gen is that I mean you can't help but to look at the ACs and I mean you can't just look at them aesthetically. I mean especially right
you,
now if you're a player of the current gen, you're trained to look at ACs
yeah,
and how they're going to function.
yeah,
Um, I think for me, I think there could have been some, especially for a lot of the ACs I actually see out there playing in free battle and
well,
conquest.
yeah.
There were definitely a lot of ones out there that could have entered into this and easily won. I mean, that being said,
Major
um,
Warrior could have been the whole division. Major Warrior could have done the whole division. I'm just gonna say it right now. He could have the whole birthday division. He could have just made it better than what was here. Like Midnight again, like it's just one of the only designs that sticks out. I mean, some of these were competitive builds, and that's just something you just don't want to do. Like one of my last Raven designs was like a competitive build. It's since been retired from my garage and don't think even exists anymore.
Hmm.
But I mean, I just decided, you know what, I'm just gonna put a competitive build, even though it's just yeah. Also, this division has been referred to as the background division, especially for people who aren't familiar with the parts. You can definitely see why
Right,
some of
right,
these
right,
pictures.
right,
And
right.
honestly, I kind of regret not having like one person do all the pictures because I know Chang got some of the pictures for me for this. I think it should be like one person does them all so they're all uniform.
Hmm.
Because all
If
the other divisions were uniform.
yeah, uniform in terms of quality, I'm assuming you're saying,
Hmm.
or just how
Yeah,
they
same.
display. Yeah,
Yeah,
makes sense.
you don't want picture quality, especially on to be a factor on an aesthetic contest.
Do you feel that heavier use of, or just more creative use rather, of not just the emblems, but decals would have made more of an effective punch for these?
Definitely. I mean, like I think it would have been. I think what I think may want to do for like another contest in the future is maybe if I could find one person on Xbox side, one person on PS3 side,
Hmm.
to like be able to trade designs to if you want to do decals and stuff. So you can trade the design, emblem, everything, and still be able to do decals.
I
Cool.
think I think the biggest thing for Gen 5 for me that I thought was disappointing was the lack of detail or decal use on the
Yeah.
ACs. I mean, that's where you can go above and beyond and really just get the best
Hmm.
Hmm.
palette to
Yeah.
work on.
Plus the
Uh,
DLC and stuff. I mean, like that hobby shop background, so good, so good.
Especially those who love to work in AC model kits. So you mentioned you had some people to help you out with this, and just real quick, we just want to frame it. I mean, most people who were looked at this contest in any way knew, but who were some of the others that helped you out? I know you mentioned TM Raven slash Error gave you a big hand. Cheng did.
Yeah,
Who
TM
else?
Raven
Yeah.
did like 3 of the divisions. Yeah.
Hmm.
Like the Chang did got some of the pictures for Vertigo. TM Raven did like enough like the middle 3 divisions, and
Hmm.
Hirakiri, Tiger, or Niji, or whatever you want to call her, like on ACU, did first gen.
Okay.
And
Okay.
like there was actually like on ACU chat, they were actually doing streams to help people build designs. Now,
Cool.
I wasn't there for those streams, but that's still something that I think was really cool. I mean, I'm going to straight up say it. ACU made this contest possible.
Hmm.
There you go.
I mean,
Yeah.
really.
Sweet. And as far as just, with how the workflow went, just with others pitching, I mean, that's kind of tight. You had a stream, work with here for assembling some of these. Would you want more of a crew, less of a crew in the future to work with, or?
I really think it would, like, I don't want the super large crew. Like, what I had this time was fine.
Hmm.
I think it's mainly just if I have the people to do it. I mean, like, I'm not in the position to do to picture taking.
Right.
I mean, I know some people, like, I think Rogan had a contest, like, on ACO, sure, like, before it disappeared.
Right.
I think that was just him who did all the picture and stuff. I mean, I can definitely say that, like, those pictures I'm sure took work. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if TM Wraith did. He probably did more work than I did.
Right. Right. Right.
I mean, that's the thing, and I definitely commend him for that. So
Definitely noticed. At least I think I can speak for Zealous on this, that we did notice he put in a lot of work and effort to push this event.
yeah,
He did,
vote for bats.
especially coming in. I think he checked in the podcast thread a couple of times and made sure it's like, hey, vote, 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 vote.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we make sure we got.
And you also had Ataraxes.
Yeah,
So.
for sure. So that was cool.
I don't think there's a lot more to say about
No.
Gen 5.
Now let's move
No,
on. Let's move on
it's
down the
pathetic.
list. So
4-4 answer.
4 to
Talk
4A.
about pathetic.
Speaking of which,
4-4 answer, I think was like stronger than Verdict Day, but not by much.
There's nothing stronger in 4 and 4 answer to 5 than.
Well, but of course they have the America designs. How those did not win, I do not know.
My bias is showing. That's all right. No, you guys talk about Gen 4. I'll meet you in Gen 3.
yeah,
All right.
well, fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, I mean we
All
had our America Glent. It's totally goofy.
That was so good.
Man.
Like I know. So like my top 2 votes were the America designs.
And
Because America.
mine had to go to Royal Guard just because it's a quad first of all. I mean that's obviously a standard of aesthetic
That was a
perfection.
good look right there. That was definitely a well-made quad, I think.
But quads and Glent core. I dug
Yeah,
that.
I'm a quad fan with you, so yeah.
On top of that, I mean, a lot of people could say there's, a blank scheme here, and it's well, obviously it's meant to emulate, Glent in a sense. I personally, I try and stray away from doing, pure white designs or kind of going the Gundam direction because I feel you see that a lot. So it's not something I really put in my own personal palette, but I mean, kind
Yeah.
of clean base, and hey, I voted for it.
But it can be done. I think it's just, I mean, if you're going to go for something that a lot of people do, you've got to better make it good. I think like one of my designs in Another Age was like black, like bloodstain or something, like black and red, very very common. But still, I mean, if you make it work, it'll work. So, but yeah, 4 for answer. Like TM Raven got pictures for this. I know this is one of the divisions that had streams on ACU chat for.
Hmm.
I didn't enter this.
Well, speaking of making things work, I think as far as 4 and 4A were concerned, it wasn't just about your paint scheme. This was the only chapter in the AC series where we had stabilizers, and I think as a result, that really gave you a chance to, if you really wanted to mess around aesthetically.
Warehound.
Yep, it's just exactly where I was heading. If you really wanted to take that over the top, Warehound exemplified that. That's design number 5 for any on ACL for anyone who's looking at the thread. But yeah, that's definitely just one example of where you could go with it. Functionally, heavier backload would give you, more frontal speed, but aesthetically, you could turn yourself into a hedgehog. Couple that with extensions, and
Yeah.
there you go.
Do you
So,
really? Yeah. I don't really have much to say about 4 answer. I mean, it was just there.
Yeah.
Plus, of my time constraints, it's Queen because it's Queen things. And,
right.
So I want to just move back on to the last Raven.
I'm
Yeah.
totally down with that.
May I say? Oh yeah.
No, I was saying unless Tearsin had another wonderful sentiment about 4, I know he's just gushing to share that.
I'm being quiet.
All right,
Okay,
go
I'm
ahead.
gonna say something though. Like I tried to make a quad in 4 answer one
Yeah.
time, but I wanted to make it like when I used to have an NACB Abyss Walker at paint job.
Mhm.
The paint did not go on the way I wanted it to. Like I do not. I'm not the biggest fan of the paint in 4 answer. I mean, I just don't think it goes on the way I want it to.
Right.
at least with the color scheme I was going for. So I think let's just move on to what I think has the overall best looking parts in general. I think like Last Raven.
Well, it had such a massive parts pool to work with, for one thing, and
Yeah,
we had so many, old school variants coming back. Yeah, LR divisions, we hit that here. The first one
yeah.
I'm
That
immediately
one was
reminded of.
mixed for me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There were some good designs. There were some sucky ones, mainly mine. I don't know. What I like about like last playthrough Last Raven, I think it's just the parts to me. I mean, have a balance of. I hate to use realism. That's really the only way I can really think of it.
hmm
Like realism and still like look futuristic. Like they look like still mechanical, but it still looks. I mean, like futuristic technology. And it's
hmm
just, I think just the balance in Last Raven, I like it. I
hmm
just love it.
hmm Not totally.
Okay, so you have to answer something for me, Drag. Is it face bat or is it face
That's
bot?
the one I was looking
Face
at.
Bat, Face
Face
Bat,
bat.
Yeah,
It's
that's
fun.
best design in the entire contest.
Face bat won.
glad it did. Felt it was deserved. I remember we talked about this the show where we went
It
over
was an
our choices.
accident.
So,
It was an accident. Like he was just like trying to make something. Then he started realizing, wait a sec, that starts to look like a face, and then just evolved from there. Kia Nushiro, aka Ataraxis. Yes, I know on my thank you list there are separate people, but you know what? I found out after I posted that, and I didn't feel like changing it because it's that awesome.
there you go.
And of course, now on ACU, he's face Ataraxis.
Nice.
Actually went through the whole trouble of changing his name. Yeah, that design was my vote too. Lots of fun. It wasn't just good to see a hover design in, but also just the goofy concept behind it just worked. Um, yeah, the other thing that I think that made LR fun was, it wasn't as crazy in the backgrounds as like five, Verdict Day and five, but the whole garage setting behind things, I thought it was kind of nice. It always gave your AC a cool light, and plus, if you wanted to,
Yeah,
roll out into a mission, you could do that, or use
yeah.
the whole elevator. It fit.
Not
It,
to.
it
Oh
fit.
yeah. Plus the different times of the day
Right.
that made it cool. Though I do know, like on the emulator, there were no shadows,
Oh, okay.
which I think is probably a good thing for this contest. I think because the shadows might have just.
Yeah, really collided, and you wanted nice crisp display. That's one thing I'm seeing here that's, consistent with these shots is like they're clean. Like clean, good quality, and also like lighting, like there isn't anything crazy interfering. You can see,
Yeah.
each spot
hmm
clearly. So
Yeah.
no, this
So
one was fun. Gonna get all teary talking about Last Raven, man. This was
yeah.
old school fave. But you know what? I'll save that. I'll save that for another day. I won't go too nuts. We still got a couple
Yeah.
divisions to talk about.
Yeah. Plus my time
Um,
is kind of limited. So
moving
yeah.
right on down here, we got the AA
Oh,
AC2 AA division.
design. Yes.
Yeah.
With those freaking cheat card hover legs.
Cheat card.
Like TM Raven, like oh my gosh, like you both designs, one for answer, and then both of his designs another eight, one. Like,
You okay?
yes, I'm fine. It's just one of those things of like when you see like the same designer on the top two designs, it's just like,
What
yeah.
happens?
Yeah, what can you say?
But hey, I think it's just especially when it happens in two divisions.
hmm
Yeah,
Does
but
seem to
I mean they're
be.
good designs. They're good designs though.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun designs in the AC2 and another age division
Yeah,
though. But yeah, definitely there was a landslide on this.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was landslide. I mean, this one I think it was pretty much like no design really stuck out to me as bad. I mean, there were definitely some ones that were definitely lackluster, like Orbit. That was just boring.
Right.
Not bad, but boring.
hmm
Like I think like that was actually just designed on his memory card or something. I think he just had, but yeah, like so the lesson learned from this is have put time into your designs. Like just please. Like I can definitely say like yeah. I mean, there's definitely some good ones. Cardboard was one of those ones that's just like, what is it? Like, I mean, it was pretty interesting. I think pretty cool.
I'm never never one for speaking their opinions, but they did all enter your contest.
Yeah, yeah. Mm. My contest, yes. My charisma.
Something to that effect. Oh
Yeah, I
man.
don't know. I think it was pretty cool. I mean, just to have people participate. I mean, like ACU. Let's see, they entered all of the first and second divisions,
hmm
and then all but one of Last Raven division, then all but one of four answer. That
Wow.
says something. And it's just like one of those things where I just look at ACL, I'm just like, what happened, guys? Come on, you can do better.
And that's going to bring us to a question that I'm going to have for you at the end of this whole thing. But I just kind of want to put these two together since we're so close on them on the heels, and partially because I'm excited to talk about it. The MOA division,
Oh, the
as we
best, one.
highlight that. It wasn't just a fun division as a whole, but probably had my favorite design in it too. Of the whole competition, Candy Corn, just just a blast. I think the line I used a few weeks back was an edible AC. It
Yeah,
was nice,
yeah, yeah, I remember that.
genuinely
That
nice to
sounds
see that.
familiar. Like, did you see my comment about it? Like, it's
Yeah,
like I know it's like I'm sorry, I know these are mechanical parts, and I know this is something that's trying to use mechanical parts to not be something mechanical. I'm sorry, it just still looks too mechanical for me. I'm sorry, it just does. Like, yeah. Then I think there were some really good designs. The Drac was not made by me.
no kidding.
It wasn't. I mean, it's fun and
Who
all, but I
did it?
probably would have
Who did
used
it?
Keanu Shiro,
Okay,
Ataraxis, same guy.
okay.
I made Chicken and Future, which was I think was just basic. Like Future was a really cool tank. I think just got to freaking Demon Face on the core. It just makes it that much better.
I'll tell you what was a bit of a surprise on Design 2 Sailor Bunny. I am shocked no one pulled the troll by using the Sailor Scout model. That strange glitch you could use back in the early ACs.
Huh?
I think in AC
I'm
one
not.
there was this odd. Well, I don't think it's necessarily a bug, but I think it was like on a like the ROM or part of the PC port. You could actually use a model of a Sailor Moon Scout, and you could have your weapons equipped and you'd be boosting around shooting. But it was just the strangest looking thing that you don't want that in Armored Core, no.
We
But
were
I
just talking about that a week ago.
sure were,
Uh,
sure were. I couldn't help but chuckle. I just thought back to that as soon as I saw the name of that design. Um,
that was the one I voted first. Yeah, I mean that. I mean I like it. I mean it's
mhm.
just like that little teeny gun on it. I think just makes it look that much better. Like big
uh,
and fat little gun.
lots of great throwbacks here. When you scroll through this one, I think there's just plenty to bring back some awesome memories. Our very
Yeah.
first design, I thought Project Phantasma came to mind. Or intro, I see instantly. Great
Oh
heavies. We
yeah.
got the on
I
design four.
yeah.
We got the finger. List goes on. List goes on.
Yeah, that was my design number 4.
Yeah, and that
It,
that that
like that would originate from a joke. Like it's kind of like the idea of like when you guys are doing like the Kurosawa episode, the carrot sawa. I always pronounce it Kurosawa,
the
but
carrots. It's more like a
then
case
it's just kind of
saw.
turned into like chicken fingers, which is why that is named that.
Right, right.
Then I think like, we didn't decide on the moonlight.
So
Yeah,
this
but I don't know. It's just one of those funny things that happens.
Right, right. So, taking all these as a whole, you mentioned in community engagement and, with ACU being really active. What are some things, if should you host this competition again, you seem excited to do so. What are some things you'd want to do next time to, I guess, try and incorporate more of the community or like maybe push more of the community into action? Any ideas for that?
I think it's just I'm honestly curious how much of ACL knew about the
Hmm.
contest. Like, I feel like there was maybe a lack of advertising. I mean, that was definitely great that you guys, helped with, like plugs in the podcast and all that. I mean, I appreciate that. You know, um, I think just maybe advertisement. Like, I was actually looking at maybe joining Ravens Republic or I think
Hmm.
Ravens Haven or something.
Hmm.
Two different forums. I'm thinking about maybe adding them. I think that was something that was suggested to me like before I actually like had the divisions up, but like going there. But of course, it would have been one of those, oh hey, you want to vote for this contest that I never gave you a chance to enter.
Right, right, right.
I not. I mean, that's something I may do.
Hmm.
I mean, but I mean, I think but of course, I think it's just one of those things. I mean, if any of them are listening and they're interested, then just post or something like this.
Right, right.
I mean, if that's something that you would be interested in. I mean, that's something I'll take a look at. I mean, I can see myself doing it.
Hmm.
So yeah, but I mean, so yeah, I think we're just kind of getting over the contest. Yeah, I think MOA to me, I think was just the best division. I mean,
Yeah.
just pretty much all the designs were just very well made, even though this was a last minute
Hmm.
thing. Like,
Always cool to see that come together. AC community's got a way of doing that, man. Like even back during LAN events, things that seemed really difficult to organize, people would pull together and they would find a way to pull it off. So, you know,
yeah,
it's good that you have
I
that
mean,
support.
so I mean, just anything you want to ask me about the contest in general?
Tierson, do you have any questions?
Well, I think See, besides, I really liked Zealous's question there. I mean, besides advertising in all the community forums, I mean, is there anything else that you would do differently?
I mean, I think really just an advertisement thing. Like I plan on keeping the two design thing, which I think was really good. Not everyone submitted two designs, but I
Hmm.
think that definitely helped increase the variety.
Hmm.
What I'm also really glad I did was that three vote system.
Yeah.
Because think about it, it helps you appreciate designs that you may otherwise have not.
I think that worked well too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll give you that one. I mean, one thing in design contests, you usually come in and you see first one, you see, all right, that's it, done. Next page and close it. But this, I did give the chance, to look back over
Yeah.
everything carefully. In fact, there were a couple I backpedaled on, and that I said, no, wait a minute, this is going to be my second, or wait, this will be my first. So, good touch.
Do you think that it would have helped up participation if you would have offered some kind of award for the winners?
Um, I mean, it was something I thought about. Like, it might have, but I mean, I really couldn't think. I really don't really have much I could really do. I don't think. I mean, I had the idea for making like my signature or something like the pictures of the winning designs. But one of those things of like trying to cram all those designs in so little space, I just kind of decided.
Hmm.
I mean, I think it's one of those things of I think when I do the contest, like if I probably when I do the contest again, I'll probably like in like the idea of maybe like the interest center or whatever, I'll post like the pictures of the winners. Just another thing of here's what won last contest and stuff. I mean, just as enough, just a way of recognition.
Hmm.
So I
Well,
mean,
I would like to take a second and share something that stuck with me for a very long time from a design division. In fact, I'm looking over here at my stereo system. There is you've seen those coin AC figures, right? The really, the small ones. I have a coin AC figure. It's a quad back from the AC2. No, the AC3 generation, and this is a little standout. Many years ago we had a design contest on A3C, the Midwest forums for quad design specifically, but functional designs. And the quad I submitted that year is for Nexus, and it ended up taking the award for it. And it wasn't anything huge out of the park, but it was really cool just to have that coin figure. But even to this day, just that simple reminder and looking at that, that embodies a lot. I see that and I said that's kind of cool. That was a certain point in AC history, and it's not like a massive like $300 like wall painting or something crazy
oh
or like a
yeah,
jacket. But it's
yeah,
simple. It's simple. It's down to earth, and it did a lot. It's just a nice reminder. So little
yeah.
things like that.
Let me
So
think here. I mean, as far as the contest, I don't know. I mean, I think as far as it worked, I mean, it was definitely some work. I mean, like the scoring definitely took some time,
mhm.
making sure it was right. Like I actually, had help from that. So
So there we have it. Well, I mean,
yeah,
hey,
yeah. I mean, just one of those things. So I think overall it was good. I mean, I think it's one of those things. I think I'd want to see again. You guys want to see it again?
yep, you
Yes.
bet.
All right.
Yeah,
I
So
know.
hopefully.
I
yeah,
thought it was a really good idea. When I first saw it pop up, I was like, "Oh, I don't know how well this is gonna go," but no, a lot of people entered, and no, I definitely think it was the kind of contest that nobody thought about, or at least if they thought about it, they didn't think it would do well, and it did really well. So kudos to you for
Yeah.
pushing an event that didn't exist really, or at least any capacity like this.
yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I think it's just one of those things. It just was an idea that I decided to pursue. I mean, definitely credit to everyone who helped me. I mean, I do have like that thank you list on the results thread
Hmm.
and all. I mean, just one of those things. I mean, so yeah. I mean, I think this is what I think pretty much. I think that's about it.
Cool. Cool.
So
Very
All
good.
right.
so sorry for I mean, sorry if this seems a bit rushed to any of the listeners. I mean, I definitely know I've been a little tight on time. So
All right, no, that's all right, man. Thanks for coming
No, we
on.
appreciate
So,
it.
I mean, anything else you want to say about the contest before you go?
next contest, vote for bats.
There you go. There you go. Plug somebody there, probably himself. All right. Well, Drac, thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for joining.
No problem, man. I mean, my pleasure. I mean, it was great for you guys having me.
Sure. Dude, you
So
take it easy, man. Thanks for joining
See you
us.
on the forums.
you too. You too.
All right, and there we have it. Drax just signed out and headed out. He's probably got a busy evening or something ahead. But hey, we feels it's good to finally get a chance to talk about that. It's been on the burner too long. We haven't had a spanning, I think, like we mentioned earlier, design contest like that for some time. At least
Right.
I really can't remember when, and we hope to see it again. But um, yeah, if it does remind me though, if we do get some more design contests for like five and Verdict Day, oh man, I hope to see him kind of decal happy.
Yeah.
Um,
Come on, people.
yeah, they're out there. I mean, there's so many ways to do it. In fact, it's that layering, running decals certain ways that really gets the cool designs. I mean, what was it? There was one frame, I forget whose design it was, but it looked almost kind of like a stock racer. I forget the way it was decaled. I don't know if you saw this one. It had a kind of orange and dark color scheme, but it looked really, really solid and had the decals in just the right spot. So, um,
I think I know which one you're talking about.
fun stuff. But yeah, hey, AC Aesthetics people, they're there. You know,
Hmm.
it, again, most design contests you see will be for functionality, but occasionally you get a breakout like this. It's just to goof around and have fun. If you see it, um, yeah, by all means, I think it'll be a fun thing to jump into in the future and try to see if. Oh my gosh, I got to go dig my memory card out again.
I dug out my memory cards for our retrospective on Gen 3. I
Yeah.
won't be digging those out again. That's enough of that for me.
Back to
I
the
remember
back
going
to
through.
the
I'm like,
grave.
oh my god, I have 20 memory cards. What the crap?
I tried to keep it on a couple, at least, because man, those things can be a bear to keep up with. But then they were nice enough with the later PS2 titles, where they actually have that slot free memory card you could open up, and if you really didn't have somewhere else to transport it, you could just pop it in the box. Yeah, that was nice. So, but we're long past that. Welcome to the era of HD storage.
I think we're done here.
I'd say so. I'd say so.
I think yeah, I think we're done for the night. However, after the exhibition on Sunday, you and I were gonna do a little bit of a
Hmm.
post-show kind of thing. We're really not sure how it's gonna turn out. I'd like to get a few people to join us on that. We're just gonna
Hmm.
talk about the event a little bit, some highlights that people had during it. So a little bit of additional time for us this week. So that probably well, we're gonna do a pretty rough edit on that, so that
Yeah.
should be out that night. But I mean, the event goes until midnight, so
Yeah.
it'll be late. So you can probably find it Monday, but we'll get it out there as soon as possible. So,
Yep.
um, but yeah, besides that, like I said, I think we're done. So. Don't forget to go visit our
Hmm.
website, theravensvoice.com. Don't forget to go to armrecordlegacy.com and sign up, become a member for that. And I think that's it.
That'll do it. So stay tuned. Again, we will. We did a review of it, earlier in the cast about some of our upcoming content. But yeah, we got plenty in the pipeline. Stay tuned. Look out in the respective threads for that, and we'll see you guys here again, same time. Hopefully, same time, same place.
See you later.
Signing out. Take care, everyone.